Hi, TheHande here, and welcome back to another Finland stuff video. And as you can see, 'tis the season, so this is a video idea that I've been planning on doing for a while now. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about Finnish holidays. I'm not going to cover every Finnish public holiday because quite a few Finnish public holidays are just that. It's a single day that you get off, and people don't typically do anything special except, sometimes have an extra day off work or something like that. But there are a few holidays that have some slight quirks attached to them, which I thought would be interesting to talk about. And I was actually wondering about the order of this video, where I would want to start, but because it's getting close to Christmas, I thought I might as well start with the holidays during December, and then go around the year, ending on what is technically not a holiday, but is kind of slowly warping into one. So, December basically has three major holidays for Finnish people. First of all, there's the 6th of December, which is the Finnish Independence Day, which ironically is the day that I'm recording this on. It commemorates, of course, Finland's declaration of independence from Russia. It is an extra holiday, which is also the official date of the official presidential ball, during which thousands of Finns will gather around televisions to watch people shaking hands with the president and their spouse for 2 hours. No, I'm not even kidding. It's a real thing and it's super weird, and I'm not gonna go further into it than that. Now, of course, Christmas is the obvious big holiday during this month, and those of you who are aware of European Christmas traditions might already be aware that unlike in some other countries, Finns don't technically open their presents on Christmas Day. Now, don't get me wrong, Christmas Day and Boxing Day are official public holidays, and they are typically used for that purpose to go see your family most of the time. But the gift giving and opening part in Finland traditionally happens on Christmas Eve on December 24th, which is why that date maybe has a little bit more significance to a lot of people. Certainly in my family, we've always done all the big Christmassy things on December 24th, and then we tend to kind of take it easy for the 25th and 26th, which is weird because the 24th technically isn't a public holiday. Now, New Year's is obviously the other big celebration, starting on the final day of the previous year and continuing well into the next day. Finnish New Year's traditions aren't that special, however. It's mostly fireworks and snackable food, stuff like that. Now, of course, like in a lot of other places, Finns are very concerned about fireworks safety, but despite this, there has not been a full ban on fireworks, although the hours between which you're technically allowed to fire them are supposed to be pretty strict. You will always find people who will start the party a little too early. One tradition that was unfortunately cancelled a few years ago was the tradition of melting tins. Basically, you would take this big bucket of water with some snow on top of it, melt a tiny horseshoe, dump it into the ice water, and then reflect the weird melted masterpiece against the light to see the silhouette, and somehow that would predict something that would happen to you the following year. This practice, however, was formerly banned in Finland because those tiny novelty horseshoes had unhealthy amounts of lead in them. But I have actually found out that some people are still keeping up the tradition, except now they're melting horseshoes made out of like honey and wax and stuff. And just as an extra point, Epiphany in Finland is technically supposed to be the official end date for the holiday celebrations, meaning that that's the day when you're officially supposed to take down your Christmas decorations. Although I'll admit readily that I have a tendency of forgetting to take this thing down until it's like almost February. Speaking of February, that's the time for our next big holiday, which is Valentine's Day. Now, it's not as big of a deal in Finland as you might think, but there is one interesting twist that I do think is worth mentioning, and that is the fact that Finnish Valentine's Day doesn't actually emphasize the romantic aspects of Valentine's Day that much. In fact, we don't even call it Valentine's Day, we call it Ystävänpäivä, which liberally translated means Friend's Day. But I should stress that this word, used in the name of the celebration, is supposed to be a very close friend, somebody whom is very, very dear to you. Now, because of this, Valentine's Day is largely understood in Finland to be just a general holiday when you express your appreciation to important people in your life. And this is why kids in kindergarten will make Valentine's Day cards, not just for their best friends, but also like their parents and grandparents and stuff. Now, of course, because of all the heart imagery and things, yes, of course, we have traditional couples things during Valentine's Day as well. It's just something that I felt I should probably point out because it's a kind of a weird aspect of Valentine's Day that I don't see mentioned very often in other countries' Valentine's Day traditions. Easter is the next big holiday, And Easter is also the time when Finns conduct a kind of a pseudo trick-or-treating celebration called Virpominen. Now I say pseudo trick-or-treating because I need to stress that this tradition varies very greatly depending on the region of Finland you're in. Sometimes it happens on Easter Sunday, sometimes it happens on the Sunday before Easter. And the dress code for the kids is to basically just dress up as witches and wave a colorfully decorated pussy willow branch, yes, at their neighbors, and receive candy in exchange for the decorated branch. Now, like I said, what day the official Virpominen will happen, it depends very heavily on the region, but also depends also on the area, whether or not there's actually a lot of families with kids in your area. I've had some years where nobody comes knocking on my door around Easter, and whenever they do, I'm always a little taken aback because I'm not sure if I have anything to give to the kids. I honestly do wish that this was a more formalized tradition in Finland, because then at least I could be prepared for it. And next up is 1st of May, or May Day in Finnish, Vappu. And this is kind of a weird holiday because it's kind of a holiday party for everybody for various reasons around. Now, 1st of May is a traditional Christian holiday, but people might also be aware that it's actually a traditional socialist holiday. And in fact, in Finland, it is referred to as the workers' holiday, which is weird because I think most people associate it more often with university students. Like I said, this holiday basically is everybody's holiday. People tend to go around with colorful decorations, wearing masks, and of course, like most Finnish holidays, it's basically just an excuse for a lot of people to get drunk and have a party. But it is a formal, official public holiday. Then, of course, we have Midsummer, which is yet another excuse for Finns to get drunk and have a party. By far the most impressive thing about Midsummer in Finland is probably the tradition of starting up big bonfires, and this is usually what this particular holiday is best known for. It's also known as that part of the summer where all different businesses are inconveniently closed for a weekend. To me, the weirdest part about Midsummer is that it doesn't actually have a fixed date so much. It's literally just the Saturday following the 19th of June, which is bizarre. And again, of course, the celebration tends to begin on Midsummer Eve, which is Friday. And lastly, we'll end this video talking about Halloween. Now, Finland doesn't officially recognize Halloween, and we don't even have an official holiday in place of it. Finland used to have a sort of a pseudo-Halloweeny thing called Kekri, but it was more of a harvest holiday that was held around autumn, just as the nights were starting to get darker because people really needed some kind of a festival to not get supremely depressed and whatever. However, Kekri kind of officially died as Finland became less rural and more urban. Now, due to American influence, Halloween has started to catch on with Finnish people, which means that around Halloween time, you get Halloween parties, people watching horror movies, having parties dressing up as monsters and stuff. But I need to stress that it is not an official public holiday. Finland actually does have something called All Saints' Day or All Hallows' Day, which is meant for the remembrance of the dead. Some people also really just despise Halloween, and this has actually kind of led to a little bit of a revival of the Kekri tradition. But actually, one of my colleagues made an interesting argument about this, that in a way, Halloween is just a sort of a modified harvest festival anyway. So he kind of views this whole thing as that not so much an American holiday impeaching on Finnish traditions, but more of a traditional holiday kind of just getting a new spin and coming back, which I personally think is kind of a cool idea. Anyway, that was this video. Hope you found that interesting. Are there interesting holiday traditions in your country you want to mention? Leave them in the comments down below. I'm TheHande. See you on the next one.